Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Collingwood vs Fremantle game, going through basically the Daicos' performance, and then also for Freo I guess we can look at actually targeting Erasmus now, as he seems like he's doing pretty well. Let me just check before we get to the video. Before we get to the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. And yeah, let's get into the video if I can quickly get across. There we go. So yeah, Nick Daicos and the Daicos brothers both went over 120. And wow, what a performance. Nick Daicos 132, and if you actually look here, he was on 22 at basically the end of the first, and I thought, another 100 performance, but after that he pretty much dominated. 9 points to end the quarter here, and then 39, 35, 27, and ended up at 132. And yeah, just again not beating Tim English as captain, but doing a fair effort. And yeah, so a lot of people probably are going to have him pretty much vice captain or captain the rest of the way through, as it doesn't look like any tag can pretty much stop him. Even though I don't know who was necessarily, I think it was Aish, O'Meara at some points. Who else was running with him? There was a lot of guys running with him, but they couldn't stop him. Adams 125, he just looked really good in the first half. 35, 59, 23, 8. So I wouldn't get him for that forward status, but he does score well. He was just getting a lot of marks and tackles there. And then Josh Daicos did really well here, and 120. So he's one that you shouldn't probably look at just because he's on a wing and can get those like 80 games, but he does look pretty good. So I think he's someone that is slightly starting to slide up the expectations, or like slide up the ladder, but I don't think he's right there yet. Crisp, he scored a 101 or 102, sorry, and he's starting to get back into form. So an 80, but I don't know if he'll be of any interest. Could be useful next year. I mean, if we look at Crisp, last year, what did he average? If we look at Crisp, 2022, he averaged 94. 2021, he averaged 101. So if he's gone and averaged 81 this year, you could look at him. Especially because the last 3 weeks he's really started to pick it up. It looks like a 95, 87, 102. Yes, he had a 56, but he had a 131. So you could actually look at him next year. I wouldn't look at him for the remainder of the year, as they do have, they've got Port in a tough game, and they don't really have an easy set of games left, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Josh Daicos, Crisp, as we were talking about, Maynard 101, DeGoey, Moore, Quaynor. I think Quaynor's going to be All-Australian with the way he's playing at the moment. He just doesn't get beaten, and he looks ridiculous, as well as the intercepting ability of Moore, Quaynor, and there's someone else here. Who is it? Not Johnson. Murphy as well. He had a couple of intercepts, but he doesn't really do much as well. They just look like the most complete team, Collingwood, at the moment, and yeah, so you got to be targeting, well, if you don't have Daicos, you're so far down the ladder, but if you don't, you could target Crisp or Josh Daicos, or even, you could target, I guess, Mitchell. He scored 60 in basically a half, and I don't think they'll sub him out anytime soon, so he'll probably be around that 840k, and I do think he's usable. Mason Cox somehow made it to a 76. That was without Darcy Cameron. I do think Darcy Cameron now, if we look at him, where is he? He's here. They do have Carlton, who have no ruckman. I think he actually, he has Port, but Port had, who did Port play? Port played, who did Port play? Port played Carlton, and Carlton had Tom De Koning go huge. So I would actually look at DC and probably hold him this week. And I'm probably gonna finish off my team, or potentially just swap out Johnson and Johnson for Erasmus, as I think that's the go. As I think Erasmus can actually score well, and then potentially upgrade the likes of Keys back to Dunkley. I think that's the go at the moment, actually, now looking at it, as that would get me up to that would get me back up to the having one rookie. But I think Erasmus actually is a high scorer. I was quickly looking at Erasmus here, and you see here he's gone 73 against Carlton, but a 115 against Collingwood, a 0 against Western Bulldogs, a 50 here, an 85 and a 73. So I do think he's a really good scorer. So I'm wondering if getting Dunkley over the likes of maybe even over the likes of a Darcy Cameron, if I can get that, but I don't think I will be able to. That would be the best plan of action. But we'll have to wait and see what I can and cannot do, because if I can get it over Darcy Cameron, I'll be really, really happy. But if I cannot, then it might be Keys, who did score a 70, actually. I thought he scored an 80, but he got a 70 in the end. Brayshaw 110, yeah, he's just doing his job. O'Meara, one thing I do need to be careful of with Erasmus is the fact that Sarong is back. But if I have Erasmus, then I've got two guys in Windy and Erasmus here who both are scoring well at the moment. O'Meara, Ryan, 90, so he was a good choice not to go with him at the moment. But that could change depending on what happens with Sicily. Ryan is an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see with what happens with Darcy. But if Darcy's ruled out for the year, that might be a straight swap with Darcy Cameron at that price, and then be able to somehow upgrade someone else around. But we'll have to wait and see. As I think Luke Jackson is a good scorer as a solo ruck. Wagner, Aish, Henry, Darcy, Johnson, 68, Tracy, Clark, Schultz, Banfield, Hughes, Pearce, Sturt, Hamling. None of these guys were really too influential. I mean, I was happy about Johnson. I put in Twitter, just please Johnson, do something. And as he a rocket in Twitter as he was on 15, and then ended up on 68. So pretty happy about that. Could have easily probably gone a little bit higher, but just wasn't to be. Would have loved a 75 or something out of him, but it's good enough, honestly. And we'll see what happens with him, as I think there are plans of attack, and I do think there's probably about 10 or so guys on my short list to look at, and I'm just going to have to look at the best upgrade, because I think I do really want Dunkley back, and I think he's going to be a massive upgrade over the likes of Darcy Cameron, or even the likes of the Keys. And I'm really going to have to measure up, is Darcy Cameron a better matchup or a better scorer than Keys, and look at the matchup. I mean, Keys has Melbourne next, where he could be involved in the midfield, but we'll have to wait and see, because Roy Sloane coming back in has really destroyed that role. Now looking at it, and he wasn't able to get those easy marks that he was getting last game. I mean, he ended up with 1 mark here and 2 marks the previous week, so we'll have to wait and see with that. And then Banfield, Sturt, no one else here really to talk about. So that is basically the video there, and I'll see you guys in another video once I switch this screen back. Hotkeys are very slow today. So yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks guys. Goodbye.